Hello everyone, David back again from chesslessons.com. This was a special request from SAHYkingsley 1277, who just played 21 minutes ago in the leechess.org under 1300 Rapid Arena versus msa723. So this game has some important learning lessons that I've reviewed in my other videos, but we want to go over them as many times as necessary so we can ingrain it. I actually played this opening myself for a long time, which led to a lot of Evans Gambit games. I was a big Evans Gambit player for a long time, leads to a lot of excitement and a lot of tactics. Knight to f6 avoids the Evans Gambit with bishop c4 and b4. And this pawn is hanging, so I think you played a good move here. There is another variation, it's very common. Castles, takes, and d4 played in the World Championship before, between I think it was Anand and Carlsen. You might want to take a look at that. Okay, I think you played a more principled move, which is to not gambit pieces, and I like that. I wonder, can your opponent just take, and play d5? I'm not sure. I haven't really checked this game with an engine, but it's an idea worth exploring. Okay, so let's go forward and see what happened next. Bishop c5. Good move. If I were you, I would just castle. I think that's what you did. Nope, you didn't play castle. Why? What is the purpose of this move? Generally, in the opening, the first thing you want to do is castle right away. So now you have an opportunity to castle. You should castle. You should go ahead and castle right away. And I don't know what your opponent will do, but it doesn't really matter. Once you're castled, you'll be safer. Maybe he'll play d6, prepping bishop to g4, and you'll just play h3, preventing his bishop from going to g4 for this pin, because that pin's very annoying. So sometimes this h3 move could be dual purpose. It keeps the bishop out, and later on in the game, it prevents back rank checkmates by allowing you to play moves like king h2. 1 second, just need some water. So let's see what happened in the actual game. A3, I don't know what the point of this move is. I'm not sure if you do either, and you shouldn't play pointless moves. Maybe you're thinking to attack and attack, but forget about attacking. Get it out of your mind until when? Until after you're castled. Let's go back actually a little bit. Something came to mind. I don't know if you know the fried liver attack, but that might be worth exploring. This is the fried liver attack. It immediately puts pressure on f7. If your opponent plays a move like, let's say, knight here doesn't really work because there's a pawn here, but let's say your opponent doesn't know this opening and he plays like h6, you can attack. If he does know this opening, it goes something like d5 takes, and then he would have to know this key move, knight to a6. If he plays a move like knight takes d5, you have knight takes, king takes, queen takes, and if he makes this mistake, then you just have a checkmate on your hand, or he has to give up the queen. So just explore that. Maybe you want to play that. I'm not sure. I play this in blitz and rapid games quite often, actually. It's kind of fun to play the fried liver attack. He can't take here because you'll just take him back. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. Let's see what happened in the game. h6. I don't understand the point of this move either. Maybe he's trying to prevent you from going to knight g5. Your opponent should just castle here. I don't think you have any threats. I think he should just castle. Primary goal of the opening is to castle. h6. d3. I like this move d3. Why? Because it allows your bishop to enter the game. It can't go here and here, but it can go here and here. It can go to d2, e3. Let's see what happened. d6. So now maybe you want to consider a move like h3, preventing bishop to g4, pinning your knight against your queen. Instead, you lash out. Don't lash out until you're castled and you're fully developed. What does it mean to be fully developed? It means that your rooks can see each other. So let's say you castle, bishop's here, queen is here. Your rooks can look at each other. So until your rooks can look at each other, don't go lashing out and pawn storming and harassing your opponent. Okay, you go, you play b4, and look what happened. You removed this pawn, and it created a weakness, because this pawn served the purpose of guarding this knight on c3. And there is a expression in chess that my coach taught me, LPDO, loose pieces drop off. So this is a loose piece now. Loose piece is defined as any piece that is not defended by another piece. So this knight on c3, it has no defenders. Before it had a defender, but you removed the guard of the defender. Oops, let's go back. A little bit of a spoiler towards the end, f3. So let's go back. So you played b4, bishop to d4, knight takes. I like this move because bishops are better than knights when you have the pair. Like two bishops, in my opinion, are worth 7. One bishop is worth 3 versus 2 knights, I think, are just worth 6. Okay, so now you have another opportunity to castle. You don't castle. I don't know why. You should castle. And now you get a little bit attacked. F3, interesting. I don't really like it so much. I think if I were you, I'd play something like queen to d2. And I haven't checked this game with an engine, but all I can say is you're planning to castle here, and there's a rule from Siebert Tarash that you don't want to move the pawns in front of your king until later in the game because they create weaknesses. So this diagonal, usually it would be very weak. It's not right now because you have your dark square bishop, so it's not a bad move. And it does gain a tempo on this bishop, but just something to consider, that you don't want to move the pawns in front of your king where you're going to castle until way later in the game when you're going into an endgame. So your opponent retreats, and again, you have a chance to castle right here, right now, and instead you go and grab a piece. This is not the worst because he could give you double pawns and you gave him double pawns, and we know double pawns are bad. But in this case, his double pawns are taking towards the center, solidifying his center, so it's not so bad actually. Double pawns are worse when they're not recapturing towards the center. So you go on another capture fest instead of castling. So you'll gain a lot more castling and getting all your pieces into the attack than by just trying to trade everything. You might think, oh, trading is safe, I'll go into an even endgame. But it's better, it's more safe and more actually aggressive if you rapidly castle all your pieces. Castle your king into safety quickly and not attack his pieces. So pawn takes, he ignores you. I don't know why. He's just giving you free material for no reason. You take another piece, and now you're up material. There's a rule. When you're up material in chess, you want to trade as many pieces as possible. How do you trade as many pieces as possible? By putting your pieces on good squares. What are good squares? Good squares are central squares. So these, imagine these squares in the middle of the board, right? These are central squares. If you could put your heavy pieces in the center of the board, it will automatically create opportunities to trade them. So let's see what happened. He played check. You offer a trade. He says no. You have another, well, you don't have a chance to castle now, actually. So there's a concept in chess called removing the guard. It means you want to remove the guard of your opponent. So let's say one piece is defending another piece. Like this rook is defending this pawn. So you don't want to remove your own guard, because this is called removing your own guard. You want to remove your opponent's guard for his pieces. So you moved your rook to attack, but you didn't realize you're just hanging this pawn. So one step to become, let's say, like 1600 in chess, the first thing you need to do is stop hanging your pieces. Hanging your pieces means that you just give away material for free. So I like that you took your rook to the 7th rank, but it's too early. You're not ready to take your rook to the 7th rank. You need to castle first. And he played b6. You finally castled. And now here's an important moment in chess. He played rook to c8 and you took it. Instead of taking the rook, just double your rooks. And then this way, if he takes, you still have a rook on the 7th rank. So instead of capturing his rook and giving him an open file, because now he has an open file, just double your rooks and maintain the open file, and you get the horizontal file as well. So that's a cool trick that'll improve your chess. Now he has the open file. You play on to d4. Interesting move. I don't really have much to say about it. And now he's pawn storming because he has these two unopposed pawns, and these are going to be trouble for you. And I won't go too much further in this game. I understand that you had a chance to stop these pawns at some point, but didn't stop them. Something to consider is you can create your own passed pawn right now. So instead of taking this, even though it's a free pawn, it might be more trouble and pressure for your opponent to not take this pawn and push it, because then he has these pawns that are going to be racing down here. But you'll add a lot of pressure just pushing your own pawn up the board. So keep that in mind. And yeah, follow these opening principles. I understand you got into a scuffle and you let him queen. That's more basically you have to slow down. This is a 10-minute game. It's very fast. But go over those opening principles. The main thing, don't make pointless moves. Try to castle as soon as possible. And don't remove your own guard. I'll leave a link to all my little notes and comments in the comments section. You can take a look at them. And yeah, I hope this analysis helps you improve, and I look forward to analyzing more of your games in the near future, and good luck.